Good morning. As if anything couldn't be any more on brand today, two of the three internet systems that we use are completely down today, and one is just hobbling along. So please be patient. We may be slightly pixelated today, but let's dig right into it. Good morning. So let me dive right into the question that no one has asked me yet today, but should have. How did I get it so wrong? And we woke up to this morning to this. How was I so wrong? Well, let me be completely frank and honest about it. I broke my own logic, my own. I did not follow the things that I know to be true. I know that Republicans are garbage. I've always known that Republicans are garbage, and I deluded myself into believing that there was a subset of Republicans that were going to put the country first and do the right thing. And no, they didn't exist. They didn't. I figured we'd get 5 out of 100. Um, and no, we didn't. We didn't. And not only did we not get those, um, our own people, I put a caveat on everything. If we show up and vote, and we did not. We did not. This was a low turnout election. And again, that is on me. That's my fault. I, in some way, did not communicate what was on the line here. Because I'm not going to candy coat this. There's no hopium I'm going to hand out for you today. I'm not. The average lifespan of a democracy is 200 years, and this was the last free and fair election we will ever hold. It is. The Republicans will never. There's nothing. There's no guardrail. There's nothing to hold them back. They will cheat in each and every election going forward. And there's really nothing we can do about it. Look, the average empire lasts 250 years. And yeah, you woke up this morning and what was is no more. It's just not. Going forward, and I'm sorry to say this because I know right now nobody, we're all feeling it. But yeah, what we knew as a country is over. But I don't want to leave you in doldrums or despair. I want to talk about two people real quick. Because you know me, I'm a firm believer in history and what has been will be again, and what we're going to do now. And I'm going to make a brief statement, and then we're going to go into a straight, full on roundtable discussion for this entire show. We're going to take your comments and we're going to discuss how you're feeling and where you're at. The first person I want to bring up, and please understand, no, I am not endorsing everything about these two people. I'm not. Not everything fits perfectly, and they were not perfect people. I want to talk about two things that they did, and hopefully lift you up a little bit. The first is Mohandas Gandhi. And again, I'm not being hyperbolic here. I'm not talking about, a peaceful resistance movement or any of that. It's really too early to talk about all that. But I will tell you what he did do. And it's something that really gets lost in most of the discussion about him. Is the first thing he did was he made his own people self-sufficient. That was the first thing he took to his people. And they were facing a brutal occupier. And he went to his people and he told them, first and foremost, you must grow your own food and you must make your own clothes. The basics. And that's the first message I want to send you. Focus on the basics. All of the bad things that are coming our way are going to come. They are. There's nothing we can do about that. But you can focus on you. This was an election more about bigotry than anything. It really was. And they're going to act on that. The mass deportations wasn't a joke. It's going to happen. And Republicans destroy the economy every time they have control of power. They do. That's going to happen again. And one thing that they deeply wanted, and it's one of those things of be careful what you wish for, is immigrants are going to stop coming here. They are. Immigrants don't come to countries in which they're abused. And there's going to be a lot of that. So, if you know anything about our agricultural industry, food is going to get really frickin' expensive. It just is. Won't be overnight, but it will. No immigrants, no harvest. It's really that simple. So, be prepared for food prices to spike. That is really going to happen. A practical thing you can do is take some of those ornamentals out of your garden and start planting some tomatoes, start planting some okra, start planting some squash, start planting some. It'll be good for your health. It'll be good for your mind. Learn how to can, just the basics. That's where Gandhi started. That's where we're going to start. The other person that I wanted to call your attention to is Malcolm X. I know a lot of you are feeling overwhelmed. And I know a lot of you are feeling like it's over. As flawed as his message was, and as flawed as the man was, Malcolm X stood up at a time in which there was no varnish over the racism. There was no hidden racism like we have a lot of today. It was overt and in your face and brutal. And he stood in their face and he poked them in their chest. How? He formed a community. And again, not talking about the Nation of Islam or their beliefs or anything and everything that they did. We're just talking about the formation of a community. And they militarized. That's what you must do. Folks in our LGBTQ plus community, they're going to come for you. Part of the deal with this election is the handing it over to the radical churches, the radical religions. That's going to be a payoff. You dance with the one that brung you, and the churches brought them. And the churches hate you. Members of the LGBTQ plus community, yes, if you are married, be prepared for that. Be prepared for that to be dissolved. That's going to come. It will. And the way you stay safe is exactly what Malcolm X did. You form up into a community, you find worthy leaders, and you militarize around those leaders. And you protect one another. That is what you do and how you do it. That is where we are. But I want you to know you're going to make it. You are. You know me, I'm a firm believer in history and facts. And the fact is that no matter how brutal a society gets, the majority make it. Not everything about it's pleasant. It's not always good. But the majority make it. And you're going to make it too. They weren't joking about the 2025 project, folks. They really aren't. And they never believed in the Constitution. That was a prop. So know this. As long as the First Amendment still holds, and it won't hold forever, it can't for these people. I'll be here and I'll keep talking about what's going on. And we will keep working together to form into our communities to protect one another, because that's what we're going to have to do. On my social media platforms, normally what I would do is after I post something is part of the work that comes with doing what I do is I would go back and police those comments. I would remove hateful comments. I would remove trolls. I would remove those people. I am not doing that. You need to see it. You need to see that these people, they're not happy. They aren't. They're angry, vile. You would think they would just be elated. But they aren't. They are miserable, sad, and angry. And pretty soon they're going to be looking for somebody to blame. And this is something that I want you to be very clear and understand. This is how it always works. They will fail. They will. They always do. And when they fail, they will not do self-reflection. They will not do, say, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have deported all those immigrants. Maybe we shouldn't have been so awful and made people not want to come here because, man, we just don't have the labor anymore. What are we going to do? They don't have that introspection. They say things are bad and it's their fault. And that is a constant cycle. That is a constant cycle in these situations. There will be failure, and then there will be scapegoating. Over and over and over again. But you need to wrap your mind around this fact. The American experiment is over. As we knew it, it is over. There will be no more elections. They've already told us they're going to gut our institutions. And they're going to. And they're going to make everything they do that's awful completely legal. And for everyone that opposes them, they will call you insane. They will call you perverted. They will attack you and undermine you every way they can. And that is the way it will work. But that's not how it ends. Because, folks, there are still tens of millions of us. There are. And what we're going to do is we're going to protect one another. We're going to form up into communities and defend one another. And then we're going to make some good trouble. We are. That's what we're going to do. So, I need you, and this is the last thing I'm saying, I'm going to turn the show over to you. They are Trump. They are. Whether it's your friends, your family, or whoever. They voted for a rapist. They voted for a con man. They voted for their bigotry. They didn't vote because our candidate was a woman. They're Trump. Treat them accordingly. Treat them accordingly. I'm going to turn the show over to you, folks. And I just saw, I think, the first comment that we need to really address. Man, I'm not finding it. I just saw it. I'm not finding it. The comment said that it was just 4 years. We can make it through this, folks. No, that's not what just happened. It's not. It's not the next 4 years. They're never going to hold another free and fair election. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that Trump makes it 4 years. He's in more danger from them than he is from us. I mean, they've got their dictatorship now. The billionaire bros that backed him, they've got their dictatorship. They've got their oligarchy. So no, there's no. In 4 years, we're going to hold another election and it's all going to be fine. They're not going to give it back. No, there's to quote Rick Wilson this morning, there's a lot of dark work ahead. I don't know. It's too early. They're still they are still rifling through the ballots. There's a lot of people talking about how the vote totals don't add up to attendance at the polls. The numbers don't seem right. I have nothing in that respect to offer. I don't. At this point, there's nothing back about the numbers where you could say, we do know that the bomb threats came in from Russia. We do know that there was a terrorist attack that got thwarted where they put incendiary devices on a plane in Germany and one in the UK, that both of them were found that were set to detonate when the planes reached here. It was a shipping plane, DHL. So we know that Russia was active in this, but no, I don't know that they hacked voting machines. No one knows that at this point. I do know that we didn't show up. Here is a comment that just caught my eye. That said he will pardon himself and fire Jack Smith. Yeah, immediately. That's over. That's over. It is. The Department of Justice isn't going to. There is an old saying from dissidents have said forever: your institutions will not protect you. All we had was our vote, and we let it go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that comment off. Thank you. If you can put it back up, I'll answer this question while you put that comment back up. Exactly what I said. Start with the basics. Grieve. Take some time. Enjoy the next few months. It will be the last of this era. I almost shaved my beard off because I was like, screw it, I'm not doing Christmas this year. No, this is the last Christmas I can guarantee the state of. I will be doing Christmas with my grandkids. Breathe. Then, after you get done grieving, prepare. Understand your situation. Understand it. If you're a dreamer, prepare. You may be leaving us sooner rather than later. I cannot overstress this. Form into communities. Form into communities. Join organizations. Work together. Work together. You're going to be your only protection. Someone put up a post that they're going to sentence him later this month. I would bet you this hat that they're going to delay that sentencing. This is what I mean by prepare. Kelly Miller here. I depend on Medicare and Social Security. I have pre existing conditions and I work in healthcare. I'm terrified. Prepare. Prepare. I no longer will count on Social Security being there in a few years when I can draw it. They've told us they're going to eliminate it. They probably don't want an immediate riot on their hands, so they will probably just make it, 10 years down the road, it disappears. Something along those lines. But be prepared. Their whole purpose has been to unravel our social safety net so that their donors that cut them checks don't pay taxes. And again, I do apologize for the quality of this feed. This is Texas. And of course, today, I have heard somebody just put the post, we're all Gaza now. Yeah, I have had very smug comments from the pro Gaza people about how they taught us a lesson. Um, there's nothing we can do for you now. Nothing. I have nothing else I can add to that. We literally have nothing we can do for you. This is a comment that I've heard a lot. Samita Fakeda, at 65, I woke up this morning ashamed to be an American. Anger plus hate equals Project 2025. I hope you're correct, Paul. I have that is a comment that has been consistent. People are very ashamed that this happened. Our European friends, our European audience, I am sorry. One of the first casualties of this is going to be NATO. You're going to have to form, during the last Trump presidency, Europe, the EU had gotten together and said, okay, we need to work on a treaty organization that doesn't involve the United States because Trump is Trump. You need to do that now. You do. Yeah. We may actually end up supporting Russia. I'm not even kidding. This is an absolutely true statement. This is what I was talking about in the last show. She will, Tani. No, sir. We are going to be Russia now. Yeah, that was the point. That was the point from the billionaires. They shot their shot and they won. We are going right back to the Gilded Age. And for folks that slept through history class, that's not a good thing. The Gilded Age was a reference from Mark Twain where he was talking about we were basically a rotten, corrupt country to its core with a gold veneer over the top of it. It was gilded. That's what that statement means. There will be oligarchs, and there will be that's what we're heading towards, folks. It is. You're about to understand the value of unions and organizing. And I will tell you this. He's going to use the military against us. He is. He's going to use the military against us. I just saw a comment that said there will be no more unions. Yeah, they're going to make them illegal. They'll make unionizing illegal. They'll pick at it at first. They'll pass a federal law that says that every state is a right to broke state first, but then they'll make unions illegal, and you're going to have to go through again what they did the first time, which was fight the government for the ability to unionize. This is going to take a while, folks. This is going to take a while. Oh, I'm reading your comments. This is roundtable. Yes. Yeah. The Republicans have said it goes back to that thing during COVID. Everything that had Obama's name on it had to be thrown away. The CHIPS Act was a success. Trump has said he wants it gone. It will be gone. So all of the Southwest states, those jobs that you're seeing with those fabs, yeah, the CHIPS Act is gone. Yes. Goodbye to, again, we're going back to the age of oligarchy, a federal controlled marketplace that regulates health. No, yeah, Obamacare is gone. And folks, I just saw a comment that said, so all I see is doom and gloom. In this type of government that we now have, it's just a matter of fact. They're going to fail. He's going to enact his tariffs, which is going to it's going to drag our economy down, just like it did last time. What it did to our agricultural industry last time. We had to have massive bailouts for farmers the last time he did this. He's going to do it again. It didn't work last time. It's not going to work this time. It's going to debilitate our economy. Then they're going to need someone to blame, someone to scapegoat, and they will go after a vulnerable community. It's what they do now. Jen James says democracy dies right in front of our faces, apparently not in darkness. Yes. Yeah. There's a reason there's that statement that says a republic, if you can keep it, we didn't. Larry Rich, all government employees will lose their jobs. Not all of them. No, I mean, you're right. Your premise is correct. Your premise is correct. They don't like the government. So, yes, a lot of government, but not all of them. They're going to need government employees to rule you. So, yeah, a lot of them will lose their jobs and some won't, but a lot of them will. Yeah, South Korea should be worried. This has international repercussions. There's a reason that I said if this happens, the world burns. We're looking at a land war in Europe. Yeah, I would completely expect a war on the Korean Peninsula. It would not surprise me in the slightest. Farmer James, I really need Biden to do some immune actions in the next month. Okay, look, let me tell you something, folks. I've been trying my damnedest to make the Democratic Party more militant. I could barely get them to speak aggressively. Biden's not coming to our rescue here. Michael Antonsu, Trump will take your guns away just like Russia. It's illegal to have guns for citizens. Yeah, folks, there's no joy in this when I say that these dumbasses have no idea what they voted for because none of them read a history book. But yeah, when I tell you form into your groups, become militant, I mean arm yourselves. The moment you do that, they're going to start snatching up guns. They are. And you'll notice we've got a couple trolls in here. Don't even worry about them. You need to read what they have to say. You need to see where their mindset is. They voted for all of this. They voted for the persecution. They voted for forced religion. That is something else that's about to happen. Folks, you're about to have no choice in religion. That's part of the deal. You dance with the one that brung you, and the one that brung them are the radical freaks within our religious communities. They voted for it. There's no freedom from religion anymore. There's no freedom of religion anymore. You will bend the knee to their beliefs. It's that simple. That's what this kind of government does. And this statement right here, I do not understand the Islamic community that did not turn out over Gaza. You ended your own community over Gaza. They came for you last time. We were all that stood in the way. This was insanity. And please forgive the pauses. I am sorry about that. I am reading your comments. Thank you, Mike Tika. That is one. Thank you for the support, and two, it's a very, 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 very kind thing to say. This, and no, I'm not just posting comments from people that donate. It's not. This is a great comment. I wish they would regret it, but they just don't see it. It's so maddening. No, they will not regret it. Look, they don't understand. You know, like John Lewis said, we may come here in different ships, but we're all in the same boat now. They don't understand. They're going down with the boat, and they keep thinking they're going to just throw somebody else out of the boat. That boat's sinking anyways, guy. And when it does, they're never going to do any introspection. It's never going to be, maybe we were wrong. No. It will be, we haven't hurt enough people. They're the problem. That's just humanity. That's just history, folks. That's just history. I've seen a couple comments here. This is Putin's work. Folks, they told us. And we knew this was their intention. We will take America out without firing a shot. We do not have to invade the US. We will destroy you from within. And they did. They did. 100% for the costs. Our Republican politicians, they went cheap. They went cheap. You want to know how cheap this went? You want to know? Midas Touch did an amazing job. One of the misinformation things that went around, remember the one that I showed you about the Haitian guy that was pretending to have multiple IDs and was saying on camera for some reason that he was going to commit voter fraud? Remember that? Yeah, that came out of Russia. Our own intelligence organizations have tracked that back to Russia. Midas Touch found the actor. Wild guess how much he was paid. How much do you think he was paid? $100. $100. $100 American. Should we leave the country? Look, I can't tell each and every person what to do. I can tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see us stay strong. I would like us to see us stay together. I would like to see us form up into tight communities and protect one another. That's what I would like to see. Me too, just me. Me too. I have children and I have grandchildren. I just saw a comment. Save this one, but I just want to address that one before it gets away. I just saw a comment from someone that said, "Dude, I'm trans." This is what I mean by prepare. You need to be prepared for the attacks that are going to come your way. You need to be prepared If you're the parent of an LGBTQ plus child, you need to be prepared for them to charge you with child abuse if you support your child. If you don't force your child into their mold, they will attack you, the parent. That's just history. That is just history. You need to be prepared to make changes in the future if it comes to that. But I can tell you, they've been attacking you for a while. I don't think anybody, even the trolls, if they're being honest, will tell you that the attacks and the things that they've been doing so far are going to lessen now that they've won the election. No, they're going to increase. That's what I mean by take a look at your own situation and be prepared. Let me address this one. Sarah Evans, polite. I'm self-employed. Goodbye to my health care. Goodbye to covering pre-existing conditions. Goodbye to women's autonomy. We need to fight and push back against fascism. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. That is a good statement. That is a good statement. But you need to start exactly where I'm telling you to start. You need to group up into a community. You need to protect one another. You need to become self-sufficient. You need to prepare. Sam Solis on Sal says he's not been inaugurated yet. No, he hasn't. But he will be. He will be. No way enough garbage got out to vote for that. Hey, I made that mistake, AMJ, and I want to apologize for it again. I do. I want to apologize for it again. I did not read the room. This is why you came to me for information, and I kept trying to provide you hope because I believed that there was this subset of Republicans that were going to be decent and do the right thing and put the country first. And I did not dream that we would stay home in the face of this when I should have. I should have. I should have said our history is we don't turn out for a woman president candidate. This is something that we're going to have to wrap our minds around in the next few days. While you're taking your time to grieve and come to realizations, yeah, we really need to wrap our heads around this. Matthew Preble, since I woke up, I get mad, mass depression, rinse and repeat. It's understandable. It's part of the grieving process. We're losing a lot here. Big winner today, Vladimir Putin. Yep. Ivan Villani. I bet he's going to mess with my federal employee retirement. My ex-coworkers will lose their job. Office Inspector General will disappear. Yeah. Folks, Republicans have been very clear about what they intend to do. It doesn't matter if some stupid fucking troll is getting his jollies off. It's never going to happen. You're a fucking moron. They have been telling you for years out of their own mouths what they're going to do. There is nothing, no guardrails stopping them now. Latin men, whether or not legal citizens, will be deported or worse. Folks, the man they have tapped to run a Customs and Border Patrol said out of his own mouth, it is not me, it is him telling you. They asked him, how will you not break up families if you start just willy-nilly deporting people? How will you not break? And he, very matter-of-factly, without hesitation, said, well, that's easy. You deport the whole family. That is our reality now. So yes, Latin men, Hispanic men, congratulations. I did not have you voting for mass deportations on my bingo card, but yet here you are. And guess what? You're going with them. We talked about that one. Thank you, Samita, for getting. I appreciate you. Yeah, at 64, you're going to live a lot. Folks, in 10 years, you're not going to recognize this country. You're not. In 10 years, this country will have there will be nothing that you can recognize about this country now in 10 years. We are the right of center. We are the right of just about every other first world nation out there. And they told you to your face, that's not enough. Where do you think this goes from here? No safety net, exactly. Yes, Hispanic men. Yeah. It was white men, white women, and Hispanic men. That's who he carried. Henry, violence isn't going to solve any of this. It's not. The system's in place. This is in motion. Think about this. I am telling you no to violence. But let's say he's talking about SEAL Team 6. To do what? To do what exactly? Are you talking about assassinating Trump? What good would that do? What would that do for you? Nothing. Nothing. JD Vance is standing right behind him. And JD Vance is just as bad, if not worse. In fact, I pretty much well could see Trump disappearing from them, not us, because it would give them years of a good, healthy dictator. Trump is old and feeble. Vance is far worse. I want to thank you for this, by the way. I do. I want to thank you for this. This is actually very good. I appreciate you sending it. God, it smells wonderful. This is what we're drinking today. Thank you for sending it. I'm very grateful. Oh my God. You know, folks, I feel like it's all, I have to tell you, and I keep saying this, read a history book, look at history, look at history. For guys like me, it's bad. It's really freaking bad. It is. But for your average person that just does an average job, that it's just part of, and by average, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, whether you're a nurse or a doctor or you're a waitress or whatever, they tend to not come for you. They want you doing what you do. They want those wheels turning as much as they can. They blow up the economy. They always do. There's never been a situation where a government like this hasn't destroyed the economy. They're going to, but they're not going to come directly at you, folks. They're not. Unless you're a member of one of the communities they scapegoat, and you know who it will be. You know it will be the LGBTQ plus community, because that's what they do now. You know it will be Hispanics. It'll be brown people and black people. And you know it will be Muslims. And every time something goes bad, they'll need someone else to scapegoat, and they will go after it. And these people have told you, folks, they voted for a rapist that they know is a rapist. There's nobody on that other side that's trying to stop them. Nobody. And I've seen a couple comments that the markets are taking off, as though this is like, the trolls think this is like a good thing. No, people. The wealthy think they've got a hold on this. They don't. Again, read a history book. Half of them are going to die. They make examples to put the rest in line. Take a look at MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, and what he did. They're going to celebrate till it's time for their funeral, because they all think that they're going to never have to pay taxes again. Then the economy is going to tank. And what will not happen when the economy tanks is they will not look in a mirror and say, man, we really screwed this up. No, they will find someone to blame. It'll be, you damn old people taking too much in entitlements. When an entitlement is just something you paid for, something you're entitled to. Remember how they made entitlements a bad word? That's what's going to happen, folks. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, Ukraine is screwed. And it is not hyperbole when I say, when Donald Trump takes office, we very well could be sending arms and even men to aid Russia. And yeah, keep a close eye on Poland. Keep a close eye on what the EU does. They did. That was what was behind this. Bigotry, 100%. 100%. Bigotry trumped everything. Bigotry and misogyny trumped everything. They didn't care that it's the end of our country as we know it. What was more important to them was bigotry and misogyny. Thundermax says only white Anglo-Saxon men will be safe in this country now. Everyone else, minorities, women, now have a bullseye target painted on our backs. How can America be so stupid? They won't be the first ones that they come for, but even some of them will get unhappy because they can't. Please go read a history book. This never ends in a good, healthy, functioning economy. It never does. And when those white Anglo-Saxon men start bitching, they're the next target. You know that part in the Niemöller line, the trade unionists? Yeah. Lessons taught about the rise of Nazi Germany were meant to serve as a dire warning, not a blueprint for imitation. These are not bright people. Have you ever had a discussion with a white supremacist? They have a few catch lines that they think is their special knowledge, and somehow that suddenly made them smart, and they're dumb as fuck. They all are. I mean, they're literally sitting in a country where white privilege is a thing, and they're miserable. These are not the strongest among us. This, what about Palestine? What about it? What do you think happens now? Iran and Russia convinced young college students here and a bunch of people on the internet to screw the Democratic Party for Palestine. What do you think happens now to Palestine? Because I can tell you, the Democratic Party that was your support can do fucking nothing for you now. Octave P, I'm in Romania. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your voice in. It is incredibly important that we have voices from all around the world. I'm in Romania, right next to Ukraine. I'm considering packing up and moving somewhere further west. Yeah, mass migration is going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem. And I'm sorry we did this. I am sorry we did this. Me too. Me too. And again, I want to apologize for the quality of this stream. Again, Texas infrastructure, the way Republicans run things, this is your future now. Annalisa Capitordo. I'm a public school teacher in Texas. I come from a family of teachers. How do I look my students as a history teacher and not cry, knowing that half of them will be forcibly deported? I can't answer that question. I don't know. But as a history teacher, I think you're fully aware of what happens now. And I want you to, when I say you need to prepare for what happens now, you're worried about your students. I want you to put your own mask on first. They're going to come for the academics. They have to. These governments can't exist. They always come after the academics. There's a reason that the teachers are always on the list of the first persecuted. Remember that. When you prepare, remember that. RFK Jr. cannot survive his tenure running our health system with academics in place. They can't. That is definitely an idea. If we were ever going to hold a legitimate election again, which I don't see happening. Wendy Smith, anecdotal info of absentee ballot status being changed overnight in swing states. Check the status of your ballot in swing states. By all means, please do. Please do. Folks, we've got a longer row to hoe than just making it to the next election and it's going to be all right because everybody's going to change their mind. maybe there is no next election, not a legitimate one. I want to reiterate this. 99% of you out there aren't going to be their target. Not until they need a scapegoat, and maybe your community ends up being the scapegoat. But for the most part, you have time. I need you to take that time. I need you to form communities where you're at, not just here. I'm glad to have you here, and I'm glad you're part of this community. Can't Biden null and void the election with the interference of the election by Russia? They could call a new election. They could. He is not going to. He's not. I need you to do this. I need you to form communities where you're at. I need you to become more self-sufficient where you're at. We reviewed our finances. That's what we did. We sat down last night in the midst and the throes of our grief, and we reviewed our finances and what we needed to do to just become completely mobile if we had to. I'm not going anywhere, folks. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm also going to protect my family. I am doing this self-examination. You need to too. You need to address realistically the what ifs. Do not do what I did. I brought you bad information coming into this election because I made the assumption there were some decent Republicans left out there. There are not. There are not. Todd Speck, Fox News didn't keep our voters home. Kathy Coomer, I have no community in Wyoming. I don't know what to tell you there. I don't. Keep your head down. Stay self-sufficient. Yes, inflation will rise now. That's, again, what I'm talking about. You need to be prepared. Those tariffs that he's going to slap on in a few months, yeah, you're talking 6 months at the most. You need to be prepared for both a strong downturn in the economy and just rampant inflation caused by these tariffs. That's what I mean by prepare. Take the time, folks, please, please. We have a few months left with our country still as we know it. Leave that up there. I want to come back to it. Take the time. Grieve the loss. Then please take some time, do financial evaluation, physical evaluation, do your security evaluation, and figure out what you need to do just in case. Realistically, what will come down your pike? Are you a farmer? What's going to happen when the next round of tariffs go into place and the trade war starts with China? What are you going to do? Be prepared. says, your comment about coming for the academics reminds me of the movie Kate. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Katen, when the Nazis stormed the university and violently removed and arrested all the teachers. Yeah. It happens in every one of these governments. It does. You know, one answer might be for your family to come together and say, look, what if we have to move into a multi-generational house together? When grandma loses her Social Security or it gets cut back to the point where she can't live, maybe we need to do a multi-generational house in one home. You know, we did it in the 40s. Everybody worked to take care of the house. A lot of women die needlessly. That's what happens. Your family, yeah, I am sorry. I'm sorry. Period Pax, I am very sorry. They are Trump. They know he's a rapist and they voted for him anyway. Bert Kozier. Trump's tariffs will have all his white followers bleeding about how they can't afford anything. Our refrain should be, "We told you so." That, Bert, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's never going to happen. It's not. The way these governments work is when that happens, there's going to be failure after failure after failure. You know, when RFK starts getting everybody to drink raw freaking milk, no, we're not going to get healthy. We're going to get fucking anthrax again. When that happens, they're not going to say, and his followers are not going to say, maybe we were wrong. No. It will be those damn Haitians were passing anthrax. And I'm sorry to the Haitian people, but they just used you as an example. So I, wanted to make it real for everybody. That's the way this works. Breathe, my chat, breathe. We are strong. We are, yes, exactly what I'm telling you. Thank you, Andrea. Exactly what I'm telling you. They can't stop you from coalescing into communities and being stronger together and protecting one another. They can't. Yeah. I guarantee you right now, they have a list already of people that submitted their resumes of Trump sycophants. And right now, today, right now, they're reaching out and they are contacting people and they are preparing so that on day one, mass firings, and they will start replacing people. And they will start with DHS. We talked about that in the last show. We talked about why they would start with DHS. I saw another comment about President Biden needs to say he's not. He's not. And yes, purges are at the top of the list. But no, they're not. The best you could hope for is a goddamn military coup. I wish I was joking. Yeah, overtime pay. This is all going back to the Gilded Age, folks. No more overtime pay for anyone. No, they're going to go back 60, 70, 80 hours a week. If you can't do it, we'll fire you and pull someone off the bread lines that will. I just saw a comment and I lost it because the chat's moving so quickly. Someone said, "What about a general strike?" That will be one of the tactics that will come. It will. But you need to be prepared for the fact that this man is going to deploy the military. He will have leaders in charge of the military that will do it. And just like in India, when they won their independence, it's going to be brutal. There's going to be a lot of pain around that. Elections have consequences. We're about to see those. Well, folks, thank you for being here. I wanted to give you folks a little bit to vent off, and I really care. I look, I will be here every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday until they lock me up. I'll be here. But folks, I needed you to hear you're not crazy. This is really happening. You need to first grieve. You need to take the next few months of your life and enjoy them like they're the last, because they are the last for this country. This experiment is over. But while you're taking that time, you need to prepare. This spring at your house, you need a garden. You do, to supplement your food. You need to do what you need to do. You need to be prepared financially for your job to go away. You need to be prepared financially for your parents to lose their ability to stay in the home that they're in. You need to consider planning for a multi-generational household if that's possible. Oatmeal pancake, thank you. And folks, take the time to hit the subscribe button, please. We need to grow this community as far as large and as far as we can. Take the time to hit the subscribe button. All that does is put my ugly mug on your page. Whenever you log into YouTube, I'll be down there. You can click on me and see what's new. eBiker92 says, my grandparents survived the Great Depression, and one thing they taught me was never, ever lose hope. You're going to live through this. The overwhelming majority of us will live through this. Even in the worst of dictatorships, the majority always survives. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. And yeah, a lot of people are going to get hurt. But the majority of you are going to survive. Please take what I'm saying to heart. Take the time to breathe, take the time to grieve, and then prepare. Love you, folks. This is Old Texas Paul out. I'm not even going to do the closing. I just don't feel like seeing it. I have a good